Welcome to the Prospect Warehouse podcast. This is your host, Tim Kanak. You can find me on X at Fantasy Aceball. And today we have Jon Anderson, only no Doc. He's crazy old Doc is doing a crazy thing and hosting both sides of his family. It's not simultaneously. It sounds like
not?
It sounded like
That's how I read it.
Sounds like he's doing one at the beginning of the week and one at the end. So okay. I'm assuming it's not simultaneously, because if it's simultaneously, then that's even crazier.
That's insane.
That's insane. That's insane. So follow
back
Jon.
Back to back makes sense.
Yeah. Back to back makes way more sense.
Yeah.
Follow Jon at Jon PGH. But Doc will not be making it. So Jon and I, you will have for both podcasts this week. Hence, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm gonna channel some inner Doc energy here. Get the shades on as we're going. So someone's got to get a little goofy in here.
It's Christmas. We gotta be a little bit more upbeat, I guess.
Yeah, we gotta have some fun. Yeah. You could see, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see that Jon has more face. There's more face now. There's more Tim face. There's more Jon face.
Yeah.
There's less Tim shoulders. More face. More profile.
Yeah, we're showing the data more than our faces. Probably advisable. And you can see the mess of Christmas presents behind. So for those of you listening to these in the spring, probably a lot of people will kind of be catching up. We're doing this 2 days before Christmas. So Merry Christmas.
Yeah. No, if you're listening in the spring, you're already losing your leagues. You got to be on top of this stuff.
Well, I don't know, man. Maybe some people aren't psychos. They're not thinking about baseball in December. I mean, that was me.
Well, we have a draft kicking off on January 1st, the MLB Data Warehouse draft for the 30-team league. Yeah. And Doc and I are on another 30-team league that we just completed FYPDs in. But that's not even news. The big news is that we have dropped on the Substack on MLB Data Warehouse my top 150 prospects. So it took me forever. It took me 3 or 4 weeks of just literally that's all I did every night after work was just working on this, watching video, doing write-ups, doing refreshing grades, adding new guys, moving guys around the rankings. So it took quite a bit of time.
Your wife must have loved that.
That's why I tell everybody. That's why you need to pay a little bit extra, people. I need you to go buy my cheat sheets. I've got if you go on MLB Data Warehouse, you can find I have draft cheat sheets.
Pull that up, yeah.
There's a redraft cheat sheet. It's all in one package for just $29.99. You're gonna get a redraft cheat sheet that has all the position rankings, all the F scores for all these guys. Then there's 3-year dynasty, 5-year dynasty. I have prospect rankings on there with team org rankings on there, FYPD rankings on there, international rankings. So over 750 players ranked. You did the math. I didn't do it. I just put it in and I'm like, I'm done.
I learned a new Excel. I learned a new Excel function. You can count how many cells have strings in them, have letters in them. It's like, that's how I did it. But yeah, 770 something that you had in there. Just absurd.
Yes. So if you want all that stuff, it's only $29.99. And if you buy it, then that's good, because I just give that, it's not for me. I just give that money to my wife. I'm like, here, go do something and leave me alone so I can keep doing this crap. just so I can keep doing it. It's not for me. I don't need it. It's for my wife. So she lets me keep doing this. So go ahead and please, if you can, purchase the cheat sheets, and that's going to give you an inner edge. They all have F scores on them. They're hot and cold. They're very user friendly. And you can also, since they're literal spreadsheets, since there's F scores on there, if you need speed, all you've got to do is go to that speed rating, boom, speed on your position. And it's going to tell you the top speed guys. If you need power, go power, boom, there you go. So it's very user-friendly for drafting. But go get those, please, if you can. And besides that, Jon developed an app for my top 150 prospects. So it's not just like a regular article like what I did with Fantasy Pros when I was writing over there, where they just posted articles. This is literally an app. So you can use the app. Jon's showing on the screen right now. So if you're on YouTube or
try not to give too much away, but
yeah. So if you're on YouTube or XVision, you can see on MLB Data Warehouse. You're just gonna click prospect ranks. You can see the prospects ranked, and you click on the prospect. You get their F scores. You get their full write up. There's hitters and pitchers sortable. You can search by player name. So very user friendly application that you can use on your computer. You can use it on a phone. You can use it on whatever. But pretty cool that there's a whole app developed now for all the prospect write-ups, which is way more user-friendly. Because if you're reading an article and you're trying to get to a certain player, you have to scroll, and who's got time for scrolling nowadays, right, Jon?
Right.
Unless you're taking a crap, who has time to scroll?
Yeah.
nowadays. So just is there anything else?
Well, if you buy the package and you want me to do some Excel whatever magic with it, let me know. I can there's certainly good ways to put together all that information. It's kind of just the raw data, but I'd imagine that most prospects dynasty people are decent with Excel and stuff. But yeah, if personally I would be using that for our draft. I'll be putting that all into one thing and be able to populate my draft results and then do all kinds of stuff. So maybe I'll make a little draft help buddy thing for people who I mean, I'm not going to give it to the guys in our league, but if you purchase it and if you need some help with that, reach out. We got a lot of free time here in the next couple weeks before corporate America for me spins back up again hard on January 7th. But that's it. Yeah, it's exciting. Big offering and well worth the $29.
Yeah, for sure. And we're going to kill the rest of these teams. We only have 4 teams left. We got Phillies and Yankees this week. Oh. Next week we have Brewers and Blue Jays. So we've got the 4 final teams coming. And then come January, we already have a whole schedule of podcasts lined up. We're going to be talking about the most important players, prospects for redraft rankings. And we're going to do we're going to do a final wrap up of the teams and do a team org ranking, ranking each team's organization from top to bottom. We see a bunch of trades happening right now. So Cardinals keep going up because they keep trading for prospects, especially your boy, Yoiker Fajardo. So we love that trade. But today we're talking about the Philadelphia Phillies. So Philadelphia Phillies top 20. Number 20 is a DSL player.
I have my Phillies hat, but I think I'm going to buy a Pirate hat now after the Brandon Lau acquisition. I'm as jazzed up for the Pirates as I have been in years. And if they sign this Okamoto dude, if they add a third baseman, this Phillies hat's going away. We're going to get back in the Pirates. But I'm sporting it because it's I was a Phillies fan for a couple months last year.
So bouncing to the Pirates real quick. Are you would you be more excited with Okamoto or with Sanchez? Eugenio Suarez.
Dude, probably Okamoto. I'm pretty down on Suarez. And I imagine Okamoto's cheaper. You think? I don't know.
Probably. I mean, he hasn't hit 40 home runs in the near future anytime ever. I mean, he's more like a 20 home run guy, but
oh, really? Well, yeah. I don't know. PNC Park's bad for right-handed power, and Suarez is old, man, and he was really bad after leaving Arizona last year. I mean, it seems like somebody who gives him that contract it seems pretty risky. I don't know. I think he could be kind of bad. I mean, I suppose he'll hit the homers, but you could end up with 25 homers and a 210 batting average or something, and PNC Park's not a great place for it. So I'd rather go with the Japanese guy. But I guess the lower floor there because that guy's never seen Major League pitching, really, so I don't know. I hope they get somebody. They're kind of one third base power bat away from being 85 win potential. So that's exciting. Yeah,
I think Okamoto is more like a kind of vanilla type player, but
Josh Naylor comp is that
less? I would say he gets 0 steals. I think his maximum steals in Japan was 2 steals. But as far as besides the steals, maybe from third base, he is the king of air pull though because he had the highest air pull of any Japanese player last year. So he's number 1 in air pull. So maybe Isaac Paredes-ish.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just keep that in mind for king of air pulls.
It'll happen in the next 10 days. He's got to sign. So
yep, that's for sure. Number 20 is DSL player, is starting pitcher from the DSL. This is the only pitcher from the DSL I think that we've talked about so far. Deiry Gonzalez. So Deiry Gonzalez is a control guy. He had a 17.2 K minus walk, but only a 5.3% walk rate in the minors in DSL, a 1.13 ERA, a 0.95 whip. Isn't really a high stuff guy, but he throws a fastball, curveball, changeup. And apparently he has really, really good feel for these pitches because, that's actually pretty nice. I like that curve right there. But he is known as more of a command guy, but he's a kid, right? He's 17. He can always add velocity to the fastball because right now he's only sitting low 90s. So I think if he can get to the mid 90s with the command that he has, and you see he is kind of a smaller dude. He's 6'1", 172, but he's still only 17, so he can grow. He still has a couple of years of growing, I think. But with that kind of command in the DSL, that's unheard of. All of these pitchers in the DSL just walk the yard. So I think that kind of makes him interesting for an organization that doesn't have a lot of depth. Like the Phillies org, talking about the orgs, like there are some really good players at the top of this organization, but the back end, some of these guys we're going to talk about at the beginning of the show are not too exciting. It's not quite Padres, but it's like, it ain't great.
And the Phillies haven't needed to use the farm really. They're coming up against it though. I mean, it's an old team. They're going to have to get into some of these farm guys pretty soon. Wheeler's going to miss time. And he's probably, I mean, even said before the injury that he has 2 years left, right? He already has his retirement plan. And then Harper, Schwarber, Trey Turner, Schwarber coming back makes them a competitor for the next couple of years for sure. But I mean, it's an old team. They're going to have to rebuild. So we're going to be seeing some of these names. But yeah, they haven't really been a team that you're getting prospects from because they're kind of just they've had the same kind of starting lineup for a while, but things are changing.
Yep, for sure. Number 19 is Devin Saltiban. This is a guy that I actually saw in live because he was an A-ball last year, not this year, 2024. Sorry, not 2025. But Saltiban has power and speed and not a good hit tool. So runs really low BABIPs for whatever reason. So like you see on the F scores here, 105 power, 95 hit tool, 92 discipline, 125 speed. So kind of looks like an Astros prospect here. Shorter dude, 5'9", but he is young for the level. So that's the one thing is he was 20 years old at high A, despite only a 190 batting average. So a terrible batting average, but he did have 7 home runs and 19 steals this year at high A. And last year at low A, he had 17 bombs and 22 steals. So there is like 20/20 upside in this bat if he can make enough contact. But the problem is like the contact rates are not great and the angles are not great. Like he's below 70% contact rates. It's not terrible. It's not quite like Spencer Jones, but pretty bad, like 70% contact rates. And I think the problem with him, John, is that he's pulling like this year he pulled 52% of the time. And I think that he's the type of guy that needs to be more of a sprayer because he's 5'9". Like he's not going to be able to do pull fly ball, like hit home runs all the time. He's not a power hitter, even though he does have some power. Like he has up to 20 homer power. Like he shouldn't be trying to air pull all the time. And I think that he's got to just try to like use his legs a little bit more and kind of spray and hit the ball on the ground a little more, because otherwise you're going to get like a Dylan Moore here. Like he's just going to hit like 180 and get like he'll have homers and steals, but like you're not going to get enough power because he's just pulling all the time.
Yeah, I'm reminded of which I tried to pull up the image that quick. I'm trying to be really quick on these images, but the Socrates, know thyself, right? Very, very important. Don't try to hit homers if you're not a homer guy. You got to get to the league in other ways. But yeah, scary strikeout rates so far.
Yep, for sure. Number 18, we're going to talk about another DSL guy here. This guy's really interesting. Catcher first baseman from the DSL. I have no idea how to say this last name, so give me a break here. Anderson Araujo. It's Araujo if you're trying to find him. But he played catcher and first base in the DSL, and he might be a name to watch out for. He had 289, 377, 528. Good for a 136 WRC plus with 7 home runs, 11 steals. He did strike out a little too much. 20% K rate, only 10% walk rate is not that great for the DSL, but a 71.7 contact rate is actually pretty solid for a DSL hitter. So I'm actually kind of excited about him, and this might be a pop-up guy next year. So I would make a little note for this guy, Anderson, or however the hell you say that last name. Yeah, you try, John. Try to say that last name.
I say Araujo.
Araujo. That's actually pretty solid. I like that. Araujo.
Anderson. I can say Anderson.
Yeah. AA. Okay. We'll just call him AA.
There's no video about this. I think there's a boxer with the same name or something like that. Like I'm trying to pull up some media, but I can't do it.
No video. But he's 5'11", 177, so he's got a bit of a Rainiel Rodriguez build. A little skinnier, but a name to write down. I would write that name down and see how he pops next year, because he was really good in the DSL this year, and he has no hype. Like 30, I was just in a 30-team FYPD, and this guy did not go. So no hype at all around this guy. So you might be able to get him for nothing really.
It looks like not what Araujo.
There's a lot of O's in that, man.
Emphasis on
Portuguese.
For
this guy Portuguese.
Well, yeah.
Well, he's Venezuelan. He's Venezuelan.
But it's a language pronunciation. I don't know. That could be wrong, but we're trying to respect the players a little bit to get their names somewhat right.
That one had a Z in it. Araujo.
Yeah, you never know, man.
Araujo. Okay. All right. That sounds Japanese. All right. Number 17, Carson DeMartini. So this is not. Wasn't there another Martini around?
Nick Martini, yeah, from the Athletics.
Yeah, this is not the same player. This is Carson DeMartini. So instead of Martini, DeMartini. Do you think a DeMartini is fancier than just having a martini? If you order a DeMartini at a bar,
sure. That's like a $7 upcharge. Yeah.
Yeah, for the DeMartini. Yeah. So Carson DeMartini, he made it to AA this year as a 22-year-old. He was really good at high A this year and really bad at AA. So in high A, he hit 284. In AA, he hit 202. So kind of a rough ride here, transitioning from high A to AA. Literally, in high A, he had a 162 WRC plus, AA 68. So he went from like really, really nice season to just like complete and utter crap. But you just show the F scores. Throw those back up there. 95 power, 101 hit, 96 discipline, 130 speed. So we got some good speed here, an okay hit tool. You know, as long as he's not a AA, he's got an okay hit tool. But he had 10 home runs, 45 steals this year. John, throw up the stolen base ratio on him because despite the 45 steals, he did get caught stealing 12 times. So that gives him a 79%. He's right there in the wheelhouse. Last year was 89%, so he got worse at stealing bags. But he did steal more this year. 40% attempt rate is super, super aggressive. That's kind of fun. But no one in the MLB is running 40% of the time. Contact rates are low 70, high 60s. So obviously he got worse when he went to AA. But a speed guy here who plays short and third. So probably a super utility guy in the future, I would say. Carson DeMartini. Probably because of the speed, he could get more run than Nick Martini. So the DeMartini over the Martini.
Nick Martini was a DFS hero. He won me a couple big pots. I remember he was kind of a little underrated hitter, but always cheap on the DFS side. But yeah, I like the 48% swing rate, which is about minor league average, but also a high walk rate at 12%. So that shows you that he's earning the walks. He's not just taking the default, I'm not going to swing and let these guys walk me. Like he seems to be swinging when he should. We don't have zone swing on him, but that's always a positive in my mind, a higher walk rate with not a super low swing rate. We've talked about that before, but yeah, we're a little bit of a long shot still probably, I guess.
Yeah, like I said, best case is like a super util. So that's his dream. His dream is to ride the bench. Number 16. But I mean, I would do that. That'd be an awesome job.
Really great. Yeah.
Paid a bunch of money to just sit around, practice.
No pressure.
Yeah. All right. Number 16, Griffin Burkholder. Griffin Burkholder has been absolutely atrocious in pro ball. But he was a second-round pick for the Phillies last year in 2024. They gave this kid $2.5 million out of high school, and he has done absolutely nothing except for just collect that coin. Hopefully, he still has it. Hopefully he didn't spend it all in one place.
It's hardly played, man. He's got 20 games under his. Unless this doesn't include.
Yeah, I don't know. He played 34 games, including the complex. Okay. But yeah, I don't know what kind of injuries this kid has run into, but he's been striking out at a near 30% clip, hitting under 200, and not stealing bags, even though he had a 70 grade speed rating, and not hitting home runs. 4 home runs only through last year. So he has really done nothing, but except for have a lot of pedigree and get drafted. And then I don't know what the injury is. So actually, let's try to find out what that injury is, because we'll watch. His dad's gonna go on Twitter now and tell us, hey, he was hurt. So chill.
Burkholder sounds like his dad would be in like an investment banker or something.
Yeah, I can't find his injury at all because it's just what happens in the minors. So. I have no data. Okay, Griffin Burkholder's dad or a family member, I know you're listening. Tell us what the hell happened to Griffin and why he's going to bounce back next year, please, on Twitter. And then John and I will talk about it in the next pod. How about that? It looks like he hit the 60-day IL with some sort of hamstring injury, but it doesn't tell what.
There he is.
Oh, well, dude, look at those hamstrings. They're like freaking popping out. Those muscles are popping out of his legs. That guy's got some built. He looks like a soccer player with those hammies.
He does. He looks good in those shorts.
Yeah, man. No wonder why he's got a hamstring injury. This freaking muscle just popped right out of the skin.
I remember.
Yeah,
Did you ever listen
in good
to?
shape.
Did you ever listen to Pardon My Take? That podcast, Barstool.
Yes, I have listened to that.
I haven't listened to that stuff in like 7 years, but I used to listen to it on the way to work back when I had a real job. I had to go to work. And the one thing they always said about Josh Allen, they were big Josh Allen guys, the Bills quarterback, is they said he looked really good in shorts. That was like a metric they had. You had to be tall, you had to have a big arm, and you had to look good in shorts. And it worked out for Josh Allen. So I'd say boost them up a little bit for these quads.
Yeah, for those quads. And then also, how's the girlfriend? How's Burkholder's girlfriend? You know?
Yeah, we'll stop it there. I won't go searching for that. But.
Get those Moneyball scouts in here. Yeah. Number 15, relief pitcher Seth Johnson. So, yes, a relief pitcher, a 27-year-old relief pitcher is number 15 in this ranking. So that's where we're at with the Phillies work. But Seth, he was good last year, though. So he actually made the MLB, and he was good in the majors. So that matters. If you're going to actually pitch in the MLB and, like, do all right. He's only pitched 12 innings, though, so he's still prospect. But he had a 24.1 K- walk rate in the majors last year, so that's pretty solid. Throws 97 miles an hour, 7% walk rate in the majors last year, 280 or 266 Sierra in the majors last year. But you see a 103 stuff, 97 control, 98 FERA in the minors. But like we're weighing the thing that to keep in mind with pitcher F scores is that starters and relievers are going to be ranked against each other. It is not like one starter and not one reliever thing. So like it's going to be it can be tougher if relievers are like a long range guy like this guy was. Like he made 25 starts in 2024 and now he's a reliever. So it's like once you do that conversion, if you're like trying to base his F scores off of how he was as a starter in the minors, and then now you bring him up as a major league reliever, it's not going to translate all the way because now he's only going to throw like 2 of those pitches instead of 6 of those pitches. Now that he's in the majors and, you know, whatever, like probably in the majors, looking at this arsenal here, he's probably throwing like his gyros, his cutter, which is probably a gyro slider, and the splitter and the fastball. And that's it. He's probably never throwing that sinker, never throwing that curveball because the curveball sucks. So.
And he didn't even stay. They sent him back to AAA to finish the year, so they weren't looking at him as a postseason guy. So that's kind of bad news. But you said the age is 27, so not someone you need to worry about for fantasy leagues at least.
Yep, unless you need a close, unless you need holds. If you're in a 30-team league and you need some holds, then maybe at some point. But number 14, Mavis Graves. Mavis Graves has been around for a while now. I thought he was going to be around like up by now in the majors. But he is still in high A because I think he got hurt, but I can't remember the injury last year. So another injured guy. But 2024, he was actually kind of on my radar because he had a 22% K- walk rate in 2024. And then this year, 2025, in 81 innings, a 14% K- walk. His walk rate climbed up like 4 or 5%. So control got worse. You see 103 stuff, 92 control, 101 FERA. This guy has a really funky delivery. So his stuff is all based on like, you can see only a 91 average fastball. So not great velocity, but he's got like funky delivery. So if you want to pull up some video on Mavis here, let's look at his delivery because he's got a goofy delivery. That's kind of like he's going to win on deception. But that can also be why his command fluctuated so much. So, oh no, the MLB, we're going to get a commercial.
We got it.
Oop. There you go. See, it's kind of like it's not quite sidearm, but it's like a high. It's like a high sidearm, almost. Like I wouldn't call that 3/4. Would you? Like I don't think that's a 3/4. I think that's kind of more.
Oh, there's only one pitch. Dang.
Oh,
dang.
Come on.
MLB.
Yeah, that's why you got to use YouTube. MLB's videos suck. Come on, MLB. Look at that.
What do you? I've never tried to
look at that elbow. Look at that elbow action. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm not a scout, man. I don't even pretend. So I can't look at video. I'm a numbers guy. I do not watch baseball games. So I can't analyze the release point.
I do. Look, that's a low release for Mavis. So that's
not 3/4 though. I mean, if this is,
I would call that under 3/4. But then again, he's also tall. So like, where does the ball actually come out? We would need to see that. But like, I think it's under a standard 3/4 for Mavis Graves.
It looks like 3/4 to me, bro.
Nah, it's a little low, bro.
If this right here is, I can't show my cursor, but that looks like if at 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
That is like a 10 o'clock. That's
what kind
that's
of
like
clock
a 10
are you looking at? All right, you're the expert.
I had a clock right there, right? That's 10 o'clock, bro.
If this line right here, the line of the thing behind him, that's vertical, so that's 12 o'clock. And then the one going horizontal, that's 9. I guess. Yeah, no, that's closer to 11. That's like 10:45.
Yeah, he gets hit up though. He runs high BABIPs. 2024 he had a 359 BABIP against, and this year a 335. So something about what he's doing is pretty hittable. Whatever, but he's kind of interesting because I think he could make the majors for a little bit. He's still 22, high A. So that's Mavis Graves. Okay. Number 13 is Dylan Campbell. Dylan Campbell, this is another power speed guy, if you want to pull him up on the F scores here. So Dylan Campbell was a 4th-round pick out of Texas in 2023 and 215 this year, 215 batting average. But you see a 103 power tool, 99 hit, 101 discipline, 125 speed. So he has a 111 adjusted WRC plus because he is 23. So, or he will be 23 for next year. Played in AA large part of this year, so he'll probably be AAA next year. But he did finish the season, John, with 14 home runs and 33 steals. You can see he's not efficient on the base pass, so 75% is kind of like subpar stolen base rate here for Dylan. But the contact rates, the reason the hit tool likes him, because you'll be like, well, how come he has not a terrible hit grade on the F scores? Yeah. Because he hit 215. You're like, his hit tool is 99. He hit 215. It's because his contact rates were still 72%. Last year, 77% contact. So like his contact rates are still not bad. He just like, I don't know. He has terrible luck. 249 BABIP this year. Last year he was at 310, but 249 BABIP this year just kind of shows like this dude had really, really bad luck. So I think he's going to bounce back and be better, and he's got power speed. It's kind of an interesting player here, Dylan Campbell, especially, he's got a little proximity here. So if someone gets hurt, if they get rid of Castellanos and Justin Crawford is starting, this guy might be like the next in line outfielder if like something happens. So
yeah, it's a lot of minor league games, 125 to 250 or so. So got to do something. I don't know what's
aggressive. He's aggressive on the base pass. Look at all those stolen base attempt rates.
What's like a
38% in 2023, 37 in 2024, and 39 in 2025.
Yeah, Phillies like that. They like the fast guy. What's a lot of minor league games to play? Would you say like? Should you
like 120, like 130 is like the max that these minor league guys play. Like 120 is like kind of like standard. So
no, I mean for your career, like at what point are you like I've been in the minors way too long. Things aren't going well.
I think if you're in the minor leagues for like more than 4 years, I feel like if you advance one level per year, you're doing all right. That's like would be standard. But if you get stuck if you have to repeat levels, then that's when you're like, okay. So like when you see a guy who's been at AAA for like 3 years, that's a quadruple A player at that point.
So it's like grade school. Like you just got to just move up one grade every year. Don't get held back, or else everybody.
Yeah, a lot of the best prospects will move up like every half year. So you'll see like Connor Griffin, for instance, jumped up from A ball to AA this year. So you'll usually see like a lot of the best prospects will go up like one level every half year. And then they might get like a cup of coffee at the higher level by the end of the season or something like that.
He did cut down the strikeouts. AA strikeout rate was under 20% with still a good walk rate. So there's something there. Wasn't overwhelmed, but the BABIP, like you said, just kind of kept the batting average down. But starts back at AA, and
he's not hitting too many ground balls either. Only a 33% ground ball rate. So I mean, like he does everything pretty well. Like he's got pull fly in there too. Like it's kind of weird. He's had a really unlucky year. So I think Dylan Campbell is a pop name to watch. So I would write that name down. Keep him on list. Number 12 is Felix Reyes. So Felix Reyes is a first baseman and outfielder, and he is in AAA. So another proximity play here for you. And this is maybe your like Otto Kemp for next year. So everybody remembers Otto Kemp came up last year, kind of like out of nowhere. Nobody even knew who he was. It was just really hot at the beginning of the year and got a call. Felix Reyes might be the Phillies auto chem for next year. So last year he played high A, double A, triple A, John. He hit 331, 362, and 562 slash was his combined from all of last year. So pretty good season, 16 bombs, 13 steals. Go back on those F scores. The F scores liked him. Pretty solid F scores despite not walking. This guy doesn't walk at all. 4% walk rate. So keep that in mind, as this guy's never going to walk, but he's aggressive. 53% swing rate. Good contact rates. Not great, but 78% contact and 87% zone you can live with. And 150 extra base hit plus.
I like it better.
Good,
I don't like the stat ISO. I like this extra base hit plus stat better. Yeah. ISO's stupid. I've always hated ISO, but because he hit 297 or 293, and that hurts your ISO. It's hitting for a batting average is bad for your ISO, and that's why it's a dumb stat. So it kind of pisses me off. Everybody always
I agree, because if you look, you could go 20 for 100, and you're like, the 200 batting average sucks. But what if 17 of those hits are extra base hits?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, this guy does damage, because this guy had 54 extra base hits last year, John. 34 doubles, 4 triples, 16 home runs. Like, this guy does damage. So I think Felix Reyes is an interesting name. He's also 6'4". So like, if you're Doc, either you like giants or you like short guys. Like, this is a Doc guy because he's 6'4". So Doc, when you listen to this, this is your next Doc. This is your reverse Caleb Durbin here. This is your Goliath versus your David. Good exit velocities too, by the way. So 93 average exit velocity, 110 max. So interesting player here, Felix Reyes with the Phillies. Look at that, player of the month 1 month. So
I'm into it. This is a big number here, 150 extra base hits. The ISO thing, just don't take it too seriously as a general point, because again, like, if he would have hit 50 points less than average, that's bad, but its ISO would have gone up 50 points, because ISO is just slugging minus OBP or slugging minus average. So
yeah, and the discipline score, like, that matters in the 98, but he doesn't strike out. So like, yeah, he won't walk, so he might not be good in points or OBP leagues, but he doesn't strike out either. So like, this is a guy who could really be a boon in your classic roto type, where it's a batting average league and you don't care about walks. That's the type of league you want Felix Reyes in. So next on the list is Cade Obermueller. You'll want to pull up some video of him because he was a draftee, John, because we're not going to really get any stats on him. But Cade Obermueller came from Iowa, second-round pick. He actually had first-round pedigree. So Obermueller was a guy that a lot of people thought could have gone in the first round if you, like, last year. Like in 2024, everyone's like, oh, Obermueller is going to be a first round in 2025. Then he fell to the second round. But he did have a 23.9% K- walk rate, 302 ERA, 113 whip. Like, minors, ERA, and whip don't really matter. It's not really like an end-all be-all. This is a really nice grab for first-year player drafts. So you see here, he's a lefty. You're getting some nice video of him at the minor league combine or whatever. So there's a 3/4 arm slot right there. You're going to say that looks exactly like the other guy. I already know you. But he throws 97, 98. So
it looks lower than the other guy. I'll give you it. It looks lower.
It looks lower than the other guy. So he throws 90. Yeah.
That elbow. How does anybody keep their elbow intact? Look at that.
They don't. That's why they have to get Tommy John surgery.
Gross. Gosh.
So he throws 97 to 98 is where he tops out at. Usually he's sitting like low to mid 90s. His fastball is not your classic rise fastball that you want for strikeouts nowadays. So his fastball is what you might categorize as like a sinker or a two-seamer instead, because it's a run fastball instead of a ride fastball. So his fastball is going to be good for generating ground balls, not for getting strikeouts. So he's going to probably be a ground ball pitcher, not a fly ball pitcher. So keep that in mind. He also throws a sweeper and a changeup. So the sweeper is a good pitch. And basically, like, in college, he was fastball sweeper, because in college, most of these pitchers are not pitching multiple pitches. Like, most of these guys, you don't need to throw more than one pitch, like more than like two pitches. Yeah. Like, for instance, like Liam Doyle in college was just throwing fastball 70% of the time because he could throw 100 miles an hour as a lefty. And then like the other, 20, 30% of the time he was throwing splitter. So he didn't need to throw more than two pitches. But then once these guys get to the majors, they have to develop more pitches. So this guy is basically a fastball sweeper, and looks like he's going to develop a changeup, and probably based on that repertoire, you want to also develop a cutter. Because the big thing now for pitchers is to develop a bridge pitch. Like if you have a fastball and then you have a very like movie breaking pitch, like a curve or a sweeper, you want to develop something hard that sits in between those pitches just to throw guys off balance. So he'll probably develop a cutter or a gyro slider or whatever to bridge the fastball and the sweeper.
Something to get righties out, right? I mean, Scooball's the model lefty changeup, big for him. Even Chris Sale, I guess, gets by with 4-seamer slider, but he's got to change up some usage against righties, 9%. But yeah, that's a good point about these guys in college. They just need the fastball. Like none of these other dudes, these college hitters, haven't really seen much 96 mile an hour plus heat with command, and they don't really need anything else. So I wonder at what point do they start working on other things? I guess once they start thinking, okay, I'm going to be on a pro team, I got to start adding stuff. Maybe they don't have to use it in games, but it's probably developed behind the scenes.
Yep. Number 10, moving up the list, is Jean Cabrera. So he's got some proximity here. He pitched 137 innings, John, at Double-A,
Nice.
which that's close to the max. It's not quite the max, but it's close to the max.
See that.
He's a control pitcher, and he's not going to get a lot of strikeouts, but he could be like a number 4, number 5 starter. He's pretty good at limiting damage. He's always running low ERAs, and he always seems to have pretty good like home run to fly ball rates, like, beneficial home run to fly ball rates. So based on that type of stuff, he's going to be your classic, like, get guys out. It's not going to be sexy. He's not going to get strikeouts. But he gets to bulk innings, and he has decent command, CO 102 F control, and a 100 FERA. He's, not giving up major damage. So kind of your classic number 5 starter profile here, or maybe like your swingman type guy, 6 foot. So fastball, he's throwing like 95, 96, can hit 97, 98, but pretty much 95, 96. He's a fastball changeup guy. He also has a slider and a cutter, but pretty much primarily fastball changeup. The changeup is his good secondary pitch. So that's Jean Cabrera, who, like I said, proximity, 137 innings at Double-A. I mean, he's going to be at Triple-A next year. And when you're at Triple-A and you're throwing them in innings, you're only 1 or 2 injuries away from a call-up. So that's kind of why he's on this list here, is because he's pretty close. So,
okay, let's move on.
Yep, number 9, Yoniel Curet. This is interesting. So Curet was a top 15 prospect for me for the Rays, and they DFA'd him. I guess they didn't want to put him on the 40-man, and then they didn't even want to wait for the Rule 5. They're just like, I just DFA him now, whatever. So like, then the Phil, I think they traded for him. The Phillies had to give something. There's like some weird waiver DFA rule with like, it's behind, like if you put someone on waivers and then someone claims them within X amount of time, then you have to like give something up. Like you have to like trade something. So I don't know if they give him cash or what it was, but they gave him something. Okay, Tommy, they gave him actually 2 prospects, Tommy McCullum and Matt Gleb. So they give him like 2 crappy prospects or whatever for this one guy. So Yoniel Curet, the reason he's interesting, John, is because
it sounds like a real life rage drop. In fantasy, you get mad at a guy, and the Rays are just like, they got pissed. And...
Yeah, well, so Jon Anderson, or not you, Jon Anderson. What's his name? The guy from RotoWire, James Anderson. Yeah. So you're right in front of me. So it's whatever, whatever you call that thing. So James Anderson, he was really, really high on Curet last year, and then he just like had a really bad year. He had last year he had a 17% walk rate at AAA, 13% walk rate total on the season. So I guess they kind of just rage shocked, and they're like, man, we can't fix this guy. Just F it. Like, we're the Rays, we fix everyone. We can't fix this guy, so F it. And then they just got rid of him. But he throws 98, 99 miles per hour, so big time fastball. That's like his only pitch. He throws it 60% of the time. So if you want to pull up his arsenal, he was at AAA, so we will have arsenal data on him. You can see he's like kind of like a shorter, bigger dude, 6'2", 250 pounds, 105 stuffs, 92 control. I think he's probably a reliever. Like, he could be a major league reliever. On the Arsenal, you see his fastball is like really 14.5 swing strike rate. It's like the only really good pitch. Changeup's okay, 14.3. Like you don't want to be throwing a cutter at 12.4%. I mean, like that's okay, I guess. It's not great. Like his sinker, I don't know why he's throwing that so much. Unless this is just a thing, John, where his fastball and his sinker are being like split out into two pitches when it's really one pitch. I don't know. But like he should probably just throw that four seamer a lot more and just
you
go
tell the
fast
ground ball difference. It's a sinker for ground balls, four seamers for whiffs. I always kind of like to see that.
Yeah, maybe go fastball, just fastballs. He's got 3 fastballs and then a crappy slider. 7.8% swinging strike rate is like a 20 grade pitch. That's a terrible slider. Just go fastball, changeup front with 3 fastballs as a reliever.
Plenty of dudes make a living. I mean, Drew Rasmussen is kind of like that. Mitch Keller, just throw a bunch of different kind of fastballs. They're all kind of bad, but if you don't know which way it's going to move, it helps, plays up. So I always kind of like the multi-fastball look.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a starter to me.
Yeah.
So if they just focus on making him a reliever, he could be good. So it could be a high leverage guy. Number 8, Gabriel Rincones Jr. So this guy's a big power guy. If you throw his F scores up and his EVs, a 108.6 90th EV, and that's not through small sample size, John. That's over 288 batted ball events. So really, really high 90th EV, like one of the highest in the minor leagues. 92.6 average EV, 116.4 max EV. You would like to see him hit more fly balls, though. 25.3% fly ball rate is pretty bad for someone who's supposed to be a power hitter. So, like, that's why I don't rank him that high. Like, a lot of people like him because of the EVs. But to me, it's like, dude, you're a power hitter. You need to hit the ball in the air way more than 25% if you're going to actually be a power hitter. 42% ground ball rate versus 25 fly. That's not good.
A lot of line drives.
A lot of line drives. 11% barrel rate and 25% line drive rate is pretty solid. But, like, you want this guy to be a power hitter. You know what I mean? He's 6'3", 225 with those EVs. You want him to be hitting bombs. 115 power tool still, though. 97 hit. 104 discipline, 108 speed. See contact rates 73%, so that's not terrible. 83% zone is not terrible. So like that's fine for a power hitter. Like if you're gonna mash 25 to 30 taters, you'll live with those contact rates. So that's the main thing is like just try to get him to that, right? Like we want to get him to more power. So he had 18 bombs in 2025, 147 extra base hit plus. So he does walk too for 15% walk rates, not killer K rates. So like you'll live with a 23% K rate. So if you're hitting bombs, but like you just want to see him hit the ball in the air more, I think, for Rincones.
Good combination. 83% zone contact with that kind of bat speed, presumed bat speed. We don't know what the number is, but you would have to imagine it's very high. So that's good. It's been so tough for these, particularly outfielders in the Phillies, to break through. I mean, who's that? Well, you mentioned Otto Kemp, but isn't that Weston Wilson, dude? Wasn't he like a AAA superhero, and he just can't find run in the majors? But again, I mean, I guess Castellanos is probably leaving, and it's this older team, so maybe stuff will open up. Harper's now at first base, so I guess there's playing time, but it's been tough for any AAA guy to find regular reps in Philly.
Well, Rincones, go back to his page there and look at those splits, John. Those splits are fun. This guy's a platoon guy for sure. He will never play against lefties. So in 65 plate appearances against lefties this year, he hit 107, 231, 107.
No homers.
Yeah, terrible against lefties. So this guy could be a really good platoon player for them. I'd say he comes up and is like a number 4, number 5 outfielder, and it's just in a platoon. But the good thing is he'd be in a strong side platoon if you throw him in a platoon. So if they get rid of Castellanos and then got someone who can shell lefties, like get a right-handed hitter who can shell lefties, they could call this guy up.
Schneider.
Platoon.
People need to play.
Already signed, man.
I know. A big move there. Canzone and Schneider, an absolutely sick corner outfield Mariners platoon. But more teams should do that, man. I know you have limited bench spots. You can't really dedicate 2 26-man roster spots to one position, but there's all of these guys that are cheap to get and just cheap to develop even, and like get some guys that like this that can crush righties and get a Schneider on your team. I mean, what was the Schneider contract?
It was nothing. It was like a 1-year deal for, I don't know, what, $7 million or something?
He's going to play like a third of the time. 1-year contract, Mariners, $6.25 million. Yeah, I mean, that's like a middle relief contract for a guy that just can absolutely crush left-handed pitching.
That's the dream job, man. Just come off the bench and kill lefties. That's sick. It's $7 million right on the bench.
I should make like honestly, that there's a good angle for that for a lot of fantasy leagues too. If you can do daily changes, I always like getting like those. What's a good example? Jock Peterson before last year, but just these super cheap guys that are cheap because they don't play all the time, because they won't play against lefties, and the numbers come down against lefties. But you can get them in very late in the draft, and if you're in a league where you can change the lineup every day, plug them in when they're in the good matchup, and have somebody else to fill in, or I don't know. The platoon is a pretty interesting thing. It doesn't seem like teams really do it as much as they could. But
I'm going to teach my kid to do that. My kid is 5 and he's in T-ball, and we just signed him up for like a hitting coach, where he's going to go twice a week to a hitting coach. Yeah, and I'm just going to tell the hitting coach, just put him against lefties only. I'm just going to turn him from a 5-year-old into like the best lefty smasher of all time.
I was going to say like T-ball. Is there a left-handed T or something?
No. But I'm getting him ready for he still has one more season of T-ball, but I'm going to get him ready for machine pitch early by getting him.
None of that stuff matters until there's change-ups and spin involved. But
yeah. He hits the ball hard. He just hits the ball on the ground. He's Jordan Walker right now. So number 7 on the list is Moises Chace, starting pitcher. He had to get Tommy John in May, so we actually know his injury for once. But Moises Chace in 2024 was really good. 25.1 K- walk rate for Moises Chace with a 15.8 swing strike rate. Really good in 2024. So you see on the JA ERA at 260 JA ERA, 115 stuff, 96 control, 104 FERA. He'll probably be back like midseason based on that. So, assuming Tommy John is usually like a 12 to 14 month recovery, maybe he's back in the minors pitching for the second half, like after the All-Star break. So that's kind of interesting. But this dude throws 98 miles per hour. And he also has a really good sweeper. He throws cutter changeup too. So like I said, he's got the bridge pitch. But he's basically known for fastball sweeper. And that is like, he also has a baller 80 grade name, like Moises Chace. Like you want, like that's an 80 grade name for a pitcher.
That's cool.
But yeah, man, the fastball's a monster. Look at that. He even had to hold his hat after that. He's like, oh, that was sick. So
yeah,
this guy's
floating. That's
it's got a crazy ride on that thing. Hopefully he's not Daniel Espino and he actually like can come back from the injury. But he's only 22 still, so like tons of time for him. And he already had hit AA, so he was already at AA.
There's Seth Johnson showing up in the search.
Yeah, so when he comes back, he's still going to be 23. So Moises Chace is still a really interesting name. Like he's dinged in my rankings for the injury, obviously, but like he's really good. I like Moises Chace a lot. So like write that name down. If you're in a dynasty league and you can like IL minor leaguers or whatever, like write that name down.
Yeah. I ended up showing I showed a TJ stats graphic there. That guy's all over the place, just direct feeding the competition. But shout out to TJ Stats, incredibly good at what he does. So.
Can't avoid it. Number 6 on the list. We're getting into top 150 guys now, John. So all 6 of these guys are top 150 prospects. So like I said, there's like no depth. We literally had a reliever at number 9, and then we had a platoon guy at number 8. Then we had a number 7, a really, really good injured pitcher, and now we're right into the top 150. So
and we can show the app. We'll use the app from here on.
Yes. So number 125 is Dante Nori. So Dante Nori, 109 hit. So really, really good hit tool. Like he has one of the best hit tools in the minors. 87 power, 114 discipline, 126 speed, 112 durability. That's a 106 overall ranking. So Nori here. I comp to Sal Frelick. I think that's a really good comp for this guy because he's 5'9", 190, lefty with hit and speed. And I saw Dante Nori a lot in the minors. I really like him because he was at A-ball this year. He was, I think, at A-ball a little bit last year, but I saw him a lot in the minors. Really good hitter. 82.6% contact rate, 91% zone contact rate. Since he was in Florida State League, we have all these awesome stats on him. Doesn't have power, 100.790th, but he does have a 109 max. So I feel like a 109 max portends that he can get into better power because it's very rare, John, for a max to be a 109 and then the 90th to be 100.
What was that word? Portends?
It's very rare. Poor tens.
Poor tens?
Yeah. Yeah.
What does that mean?
That means like to tell the future. See?
Be a sign or warning that
something is likely to happen.
Oh, nice.
Something momentous is likely to
happen.
I
think I've got a pretty good vocabulary, and you got me there. Nice one.
Oh, remember, even though I pretend to be like half moronic on this show just for fun, I have a master's degree and a journalism degree from the top journalism school in the country. So I'm not an idiot. But yeah, dude, I like Nori a lot. I threw 55 out of 65 on the hit for him, 60 out of 60 on the plate approach, 30 out of 35 on the power, and 65 out of 70 on the speed.
We should show off our master's degrees. Mine's right over there. I won't get it, but I for a long time I did play I still do it in my personal life, but just anytime someone is arguing with me, my in-laws or whatever, they say I'm wrong about something, I just remind them that like I have a master's degree in freaking data science. I'm a master of science, and you can't argue with it. So we have 2 master's degree on the show, which means I don't know, does Pitcher List or TJ Stats or CBS, like how many master's degrees do those guys have? Come on.
Yeah, I also have seven businesses that are multi-million-dollar businesses. So, you know, I got that too.
I have,
not an idiot.
I have a Substack for baseball that.
All right. No more bragging. Let's go. So number 6 or number 5, Gage Wood. So Gage Wood is a top 100 guy for me.
Somebody was asking you about this dude in the Discord.
Yeah, no, he traded way too much for him though. I was like, he traded Jack Caglione for Gage Wood. I was like, I would not have done that, but whatever. Gage Wood has really good stuff, and Gage Wood only pitched 37 innings in college last year, so he has 1 F score. John, he's got a 105 stuff. Just because he did pitch for like 1 game or something like that, 2 games, something like that in the minors this year. But he only pitched 37 innings in college, 41.3 K minus walk rate. He had a game where he threw a 15, I think it was a no-hitter where he had 15 strikeouts or something like that in the College World Series. So he's really, really good. My comp from is a mini Zach Wheeler meets Ryan Helsley, because he kind of has like a Ryan Helsley-ish like build, but Zach Wheeler mechanics. Really high IVB on the fastball. I threw a 70 out of 70 on his fastball. So, mid to high 90s fastball. I give him a 70 grade on it. He's got a curve. I threw a 65 out of 65 on the curve. Sinker, he's got some new pitches because basically in college he was fastball curve. He only had to throw 2 pitches. But he's got a new slider. He's got a new gyro slider, and he's got a sinker. So he's got some new pitches that we'll have to see here. You see 6 foot 205. Look at that. He's got that Ryan Helsley build. The dude is built. That guy is
I remember this outing. Yeah. I remember this guy now from this game. Exactly. This is his like no hitter.
Yeah. That dude's ripped for a pitcher. He's a friggin' house, man. He's a fire hydrant pitcher. But yeah, he's a beast. It's just like the reason that I'm not even higher on him is because of the durability. Because it's like, okay, he's 6 foot. He only threw 37 innings. So, like, what's going to happen with the durability? If the Phillies wanted to get, like, not be cutesy with him, or maybe it would be cutesy, they could make him, like, a reliever. They could make him, like, their 8th inning guy right now, and he'd be awesome. Like, they could just Garrett Crochet him for a year if they wanted to, like, throw him in the pen for a year in the majors if they really wanted to, like, get cutesy with it. But I think it makes more sense to kind of build him up as a starter because he just hasn't had the innings.
He looks too jacked.
Yeah, that's what I said. He looks like Ryan Helsley.
Yeah.
But he's got like his arm slot and stuff. He's got like a Zach Wheeler thing going on, kind of with that delivery. But
he does not look like a major league pitcher. That's for sure.
He looks like a freaking wild thing. He looks like a closer. But if he can start, he's gonna be a beast. So we'll see. He's got the other pitchers he's developing, so it's gonna be fun. Number 4, you're gonna move to number 4 here. We're almost.
How do you take muscle off besides like just getting fat? Is there like a healthy way to
fasting, like over fasting? Like I do intermittent fasting. So if you just like over fast, then I guess. Number 4 is Aroon Escobar. Aroon Escobar is another guy that I've seen a ton because he was an A-ball last year for a little bit, and then the year before that too. So Aroon Escobar is maybe going to be a third baseman, maybe going to be a second baseman. We'll see what happens for him, but he's my number 76 prospect. 108 power, 104 hit, 103 discipline, 108 speed. So, you'd like to see a 103 and above on all the F scores. 127 adjusted WRC plus as well. The one thing that like I'm kind of down on him for, John, is you see the extra base hit plus is only 93. That's not great. So you would like to see him hit more extra base hits, but he does have a good hit tool. He does have some power. He does have some speed. 104.7 average EV for his size at his age is pretty good. That's already major league average, 90th percentile. 110.8 max. So I think he's going to get into more power, but he has to hit the ball in the air more. 22% fly ball rate. My comp for him right now is Jean Segura. So I think he could be like a 15 homer, 25 steal guy, something like that with a good batting average. And we'll just kind of see how he develops here, if he can actually start, increasing his angles. Because right now, that's the thing keeping him down is just not good angles. Like he needs to get the better angles.
Well, you can fix that. I agree. I like the.
Yeah.
You like the here? Shout out to Ross.
Yeah, Aroon Escobar. There he is. That's Nori.
Yeah.
There, look at that. Oop, there's an air pull.
That park looks huge. Yeah. Anyway, you like to see the exit velocities. Maybe that's more important than the ground ball, fly ball stuff. You can fix one of those things a little easier than the other.
Yep. Number 3 on the list is Justin Crawford, who has a chance to break camp.
We're doing some redraft talk now. This is a guy I'm looking at.
This is a guy that you're gonna love because he's also Carl Crawford's son. So.
Oh yes. Okay. I actually wondered that. That's awesome.
Familial ties. How did you know that Kalen Culpepper is Dante Culpepper's son, but you did not know that Justin Crawford is Carl Crawford?
Well, one of those names is a little more common than the other.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, so my comp for him is Carl Crawford with less power, but then I also put like a taller Juan Pierre. I will
say that's lazy. It's a lazy comp. You comp him to his dad. Come on.
Well, I mean, like he kind of looks like him, but anyway, I think he's not going to get to as much power because he hits the ball on the ground way too much. I think he's going to be more like Juan Pierre, but he should break camp pretty early. 89 power grade, 108 hit, 103 discipline, 126 speed, 184 adjusted WRC plus because he was 21 at AAA the whole year last year. So that's great. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. 33% stolen base attempt rate. Go back down. There we go. 81% success rate, 40 steals in back-to-back seasons. So he's going to run. And then look at that extra base hit plus, John. 113. That's above average for a guy who hits the ball on the ground all the time. So even though he hits the ball on the ground 60% of the time, pretty much, 56% of the time, that means that like this is a guy who could probably, if you get an outfield ground ball, he might run that into a double because he's so fast. I give him a 70 grade speed because I just don't like to really throw 80s on people, but 60-65 hit tool, really good hit tool. 50-55 plate approach, 35-45 power, 65-70 speed. Because the thing is on the power, John, he does hit the ball hard still. So you see his contact rates, 85% contact, 92% zone is plus borderline. Borderline plus. And then scroll down to the EVs here so we can look at those exit velocities on the screen. There we go. 90, almost a 90 average exit velocity is pretty good. 102.7 90th is but then a 110.6 max. So we got here another guy like Nori who, for whatever reason, the 90ths are not getting near the max. Like he's proven he can hit it almost 111. Like you would think that the 90ths would be higher, but that just tells you that as he matures and grows, there's probably going to be more power growing in this profile.
There's a lot of ground balls, 56%,
yes.
But that's okay for speed, I guess. He's certainly a redraft guy. Here, I had it over here. I have a projection on him. One other thing I did add to the projections is I just took anybody that's on the 40-man roster. I gave them a 100 plate appearance projection. I didn't need to do that with him. He was already here, 300 plate appearance projection. But usually you get really low batting averages on these young guys because we're kind of assuming the worst for the transition early on. But 240 is pretty high for him. 8 homers, 16 steals. And if you go to a 600 plate appearance projection, which I mean, maybe he wins that job and maybe he does do something like that. It's already a 16 homer, 32 steal projection for me. That maybe that 16 homers is a little bit high because he could have these ground ball issues. But and then we showed at the beginning here, he's going inside the top 320 already in drafts. So you're gonna have to pay a little bit for him. But always nice to get a home run steal guy on the Phillies, and that center field job could be open with, I don't know, Brandon Marsh. Maybe they're done with him, and we've talked about Castellanos. So that's someone you got to know for 2026, no matter what league you're playing in.
Yeah, he might be hitting 9th, but like If he's very good, then he'll work his way up the order. Number 2 is starting pitcher Andrew Painter. Been around for a hot minute. I actually saw him last year when he was doing his rehab, and was not actually, the fastball looked bad, but all his other pitches looked good when I saw him live. But Painter, 6'7", 215 high school guy, got paid almost $4 million out of high school. Really, really good pitcher all the way coming up until he got Tommy John. So
yeah, what happened, man? Look at that.
2022, he had 32.4 K minus walk rate. This year, 14.6 K minus walk. So, and the whole reason is just the fastball. Basically, if you pull up the arsenal, his fastball more or less just like disappeared. Unfortunately. So like he touches 99 on it, but it looked really hittable. Like the A-ball guys were hitting it. So if the A-ball guys are hitting it, like what do you think the MLB guys are going to do to it? So I threw only a 45 out of 55 grade on the fastball, John, because it's not back. It's like not, he doesn't have the ride on it that he was getting pre-Tommy John. You can see the movement, 9.9 inches of vertical movement, but he was getting, I think, up to 20 inches on it, induced vertical break pre-Tommy John. So he's just not getting the same kind of movement on that fastball that he was getting pre-Tommy John. Like the velocity's there. It's the spin that's missing on the fastball.
So how do you still rank him? How can we still rank him this high? I mean, that has to come back, right?
Yeah, well, that's why I have him lower than most people, I would say. I bet most prospectors still have him as like top 25. But so I'm kind of down on him. I mean, even though my comp is still bigger, Jacob deGrom or Tyler Glass now with more control. It's like my comp to him.
It's number 1 on MLB.
Yeah. But it's, because everyone's gonna love the upside because he was so good coming up. But I mean, like the thing is, the first year after Tommy John is always rough, right?
Yeah.
Like people always talk about that being rough, but usually it's rough because the guy loses command. But that wasn't really the issue. I mean, like, yeah, his command got worse. He had a 9% walk rate this year, where pre-Tommy John in Double-A he had a 1.8% walk rate, dude. So I mean, like his walk rate jumped from 6% to 9%. So his command did get worse. But like the thing that concerns me the most is that just the spin on the fastball wasn't really there. So that's like the thing. But I think that he's going to come back closer. Like maybe he doesn't come all the way back to what he was when he was a 19-year-old kid, but I think he's going to get better. You know what I mean? Like I don't think he's going to get worse coming off like his year after coming off of Tommy John. So I do think he's going to get better, but it's hard for me to bump him up really high and just assume that's going to happen when we haven't seen it.
No, it sucks. What a sad story, but maybe he can.
It's 1 year. I mean, like, let's see how he looks in spring. Like, if he's dominating in spring, then everyone's gonna be all over him. But fastball, I threw 45 out of 55. His cutter has kind of like has some sweep to it. His midnight or low 90s cutter, 55 out of 60 grade. Curve, I give him a 45 out of 50. The slider, his actual slider, I give him a 60 out of 65. The slider, he's still throwing high 80s. So that's a really good slider when you're throwing high 80s. Change up 55 out of 65, and command I give him a 45 out of 60 because, like I said, it's not all the way back to how it was before. So we'll see. I mean, if he can turn that fastball back into like a 60, 65 grade pitch and get that spin back on the fastball and then get the command back like closer to what it was before, he's still a numbers 2 starter. But like he obviously has an ace upside, like based on what he was doing pre-Tommy John.
Number 38, you probably said that. But
yep.
Number 30. I like being able to say that. I can say now in my write-ups, I can say this guy is MLB DW's number 38 prospect, which sounds professional.
It does. Sounds sexy. Number 1. This is a guy that I'm probably going to be higher on than most people in the industry. I love him. F-scores love him. I've seen him live too. I've seen like all these guys live because they all played in Florida State League at one point. But this is. You got the wrong Aidan here, bro. Not Aidan Miller. We're talking Aidan Miller, not Aidan Smith. So okay. Aidan Miller with the Phillies is my number 12 prospect. So F scores. So he has a 117 power, 100 hit tool, 111 discipline, 129 speed. He's at a 112 grade and a 161 age-adjusted WRC plus because he was 21 years old, hit to AAA this year. So AA most of the time, but did get to AAA this year. Stole 58 bags in the minors at an 80% success rate, 45% attempt rate. So, hey, the dude almost stole 60 bags. He's going to be a shortstop or third baseman. That's insane. The dude is also jacked. I'll tell you, like I've seen him in person. The dude is jacked. The dude is a gamer also. I could tell just by watching him when I saw him, the way this guy was playing. This guy plays so hard. EVs are crazy. 106.3, 90th EV percentile EV. The max was only 108, but I'm pretty sure he got to better EVs earlier in the career. Like I think last year he had higher max, but his max this year was only 108. 10% barrel rate. So he's barreling the ball. He's stealing bags. He hits the ball hard. 40% sweet spot percentage. Extra base hit plus is 147. So this guy basically does everything you want. The air pull 21.5%. So amazing angles, amazing speed, good EVs, and then his contact rates are good. Like they're not great, but they're good. They're good enough that he has slightly above average contact rates.
Bro, that's pretty good.
But then he has like really good angles.
That is
so
good.
I give him a 55 out of 60 on the hit tool. I give him a 55 out of 60 on the plate approach. I give him a 55 out of 60 on the power. And then I give him a 65 out of 60 on the speed. So this guy could be a bag of 60s. That's plus all-around player, which makes him a 5-tool fantasy asset. So Aidan Miller, and also he was in AAA, so there's proximity.
Yeah, where's he play? Alec Boehm's got to go?
Yeah, get rid of Alec Boehm, move him to third. Like everyone, when he was drafted, assumed Aidan was going to be a third baseman. They have Trey Turner. So it was like kind of assumed he was going to be a third baseman for them, but he's been playing short in the minors, and he's been playing a lot better defensively than people thought he was going to play. So like he doesn't have to move off short and go to third.
But he does, Trey Turner.
Unless you move Trey to second. I mean, like you could always trade Bryson Stott because Bryson Stott might be easier to trade than Boehm. So you could always trade Bryson Stott, move Trey to second because everyone thought even when Trey was on the Dodgers, people thought he was going to move to second eventually. And then you put Miller at shortstop because his shortstop was better than people thought.
Trey did play second for the Dodgers, right?
Trey did play second. Yeah. So I mean, there is a chance here that happens. So that's why I put shortstop / third baseman because we're not really sure where he's going to end up. But I love Aidan Miller, number 12 prospect for MLB Data Warehouse.
Is he going in drafts? Where are we at?
He should go. He should go in DCs. He should be going because like he might not break camp. He might not break camp, but I bet good money that he's up by the trade deadline.
Yeah, you made a good case for him. He just pops everywhere. So that's number one. Yeah,
love him. That's the Phillies. We got another podcast to do. These Doc ain't coming on, so stay tuned. You'll get the Yankees. We'll probably stagger them a day out and a day out, right? We'll probably put one of these out today on December 23rd for transparency, and then give people a Christmas gift and put the Yankees for Christmas Eve or Christmas or something like that.
Let's get this one. Let's do a little test. If you're still listening to this, if it's Christmas Day and you're listening to the Phillies Prospect Warehouse podcast, take a picture of you somehow listening to this podcast with like a Christmas tree in it, and I will give you $20 if you tweet it at me. Let's just see if anybody is actually on this. $20, first person, not everybody that does it. I can't afford that much. I will PayPal you $20 for proving that you listen to this podcast on Christmas Day, and any signs of neglecting children or anything for it, like bonus, maybe round that up to 25. We'll see. So do that.
Love it. Or even better, if a wife prints out a receipt for the cheat sheets, and then puts it in a present, puts it in a gift box, literally wraps that as a present.
Print the sheets. Print all the data.
Then I'll give you $20 back. Then you'll be getting it for $9.99. But you have to wrap it. It needs to be wrapped.
You sold one while we were doing this pod.
There we go, baby.
So good for you.
All right, there we go. All right, so that's the Phillies for you. Yankees coming hot. Follow John at John PGH. Follow me at Fantasy Ace Ball, and make sure you hit the subscribe button on MLB Data Warehouse. You'll get the Prospect app with all the stuff on it, and then buy the thing to make Timmy's wife happy, so we can keep doing this. So thanks everybody. Peace out. We will see you next time.